What is poppin', y'all, man? And welcome back to another episode of Reel Dyl. That is REELDYL, man. REELDYL, man. And for those of y'all that's new around here, this is my solo podcast solely based on film and television. And just a little background on me, man. I am a senior in film school, getting ready to graduate as of this recording next semester. So, you know what I'm saying? Today, man, we got a really good, interesting one. We got the Q&A episode, man. I've been taking questions for this for like 2 weeks. And now it's the time finally has come, man. Yeah, man. But bringing that, man, it is almost 3 in the morning, bro. Like hold up, like it is almost like focus. Yeah, bro. So I'm recording this later than usual. So reason being, I was on set today, and so I was on set working, and I didn't get the chance to record this at the normal time. But either way, man, I'm coming back. It's getting done. So yeah, man. So shout out to all the listeners of the show. We have questions from Jacob, Mason, Adam, and some anonymous people. So yeah, thank you all for the questions. I truly appreciate it. And without further, normally I would be sipping on water. Well, I do have water. I'm do be doing a lot of talking. But I got the Arizona on deck as well, man. So let me sipping on. Got a lot of talking to do because y'all asked some really good questions. So, man, without further ado, man, let's go ahead. Let's just go ahead, get right into it, man. All right. Start with questions that we got from IG. All right. Okay. I know you have. Okay. Excuse me. All right. I know you're giving updates on the script you were writing. Where is it now? Okay. So shout out to you because you either been here since the beginning or you binge watched a lot of episodes, man. Either way, I appreciate you. I don't know if I told y'all the name of the script. The name of the script is Red Snow, and where that is right now, I got through the first act, which is about 30 pages of the script, and then I stopped. Reason being is that I was taking feedback from everybody, and the film started turning into something it's not. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, for example, the first draft of Back to the Future is different from the Back to the Future that we know today. It's just that what I need to do is I need to figure out who is the niche and what is / who is the target market for this film, and then focus on the feedback for that specific group, and while trying not to compromise on the story that I want to tell, because I feel like it has to be told a certain way. And honestly, I just need to knock out the shitty first draft, which is a writing strategy that my discourse professor had us read about and do at University of College. It's basically how perfectionism kills creativity, and you just have to dump everything out and vomit, air quotes, vomit everything onto the page, and then go from there, because the only way to get better and learn is to actually do it and analyze what you did wrong. So and just improve from there. So yeah, so that is where that script is at the moment. Okay. next question comes from Jacob, and he wants to know what makes a good story. He said, I was listening to the episode about the live action Spider-Verse rumor, and you said you wanted a good story. What makes a good story to you? Okay, let me take a sip. Okay, there's a lot of things that go into a story, but for me personally, the most important aspects are relatable and empathetic characters. Relatable and slash or empathetic characters. The stakes, tension, and the change in the characters. So for relatable, when you relate to a character, it immerses you into the movie, book, or this is just for anything than book, movie, or anything a lot more. Empathetic characters, understanding something is powerful. Like, even if you don't relate, you see their perspective, and I'm somebody that sees the world as gray and not black and white. So even if you don't agree, you can be like, okay, I understand why the character is doing what they're doing. Stakes, I'm not talking about the food. Stakes, man. I am not talking about the food. So what's at stake? What are the consequences if this thing goes wrong? What is at stake if they succeed? What are the different outcomes? I guess this one applies to conflict, but stakes are a part of conflict. All that, I think the rest of this explanation falls on the conflict, but like the specific thing of conflict that I enjoy. Tension. What I say? Yeah, tension. So, tension is the emotional or mental strain or string. Some people call it suspense. Some people call it anticipation. But like, what are the odds of? Excuse me. Oh, that was a burp. Excuse me. Man, fucking one take. That's how we doing. So what are the chances of XYZ? Like, what's the chances of XYZ happening? Like, what information do we know that the characters don't know that we're anticipating that they don't know about? Like, what could happen? And like, this is good because I'm giving y'all the specifics of conflict that I like. And then the last thing is like the change and slash or growth in the characters. So how is this character different from the start? How have they changed? What did they learn? Like, etc. You know what I mean? Or if they don't change. If they don't change, that is totally fine. If they don't change, but it's gonna be more difficult because you have to show and explain why they don't change. Like, because like, what was the point of that character going through this if they didn't change? Like, if they didn't change, what was the point of going through that adventure journey or whatever? So that's the question that you're gonna have to answer if they don't change. Okay, man. So next question also comes from Jacob. He said, why should people care about the film industry, man? Oh, y'all. Boy. Hey, yo, he trying to get me to rant low key. Man, low key, I'm probably out of the rant, but okay. Okay, man. This episode is gonna be as long as it is because I'm gonna answer as many questions as I can. Okay, so not only for your entertainment or your escapism, that's one reason. One reason why you should care about the film industry is because the film industry has the power to take a thought or idea that's made out of nothing and turn it into something, like that is powerful creativity. Like, and then like in the film industry, bro, like it's more than just filmmaking skills. Like there are a lot of science and psychology that goes into this as well. Like for lighting, like how should this be lit? Like different angles give out different meanings. Colors, you know what I mean? How do colors affect the way the viewer will think or feel? You know what I mean? Like gaffers, like the people that do the lighting, like they have to be damn near electricians because they have to know how many watts each light is using and how much power the outlets are providing, so they don't blow a fuse and then shut the power down on set. Grips, like the grips in the art department, like they gotta know how to build the set and props and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that takes some type of like engineering and architecture. Like you just gotta like great communication skills, man. Like the set I just got back from, like we had great communication, bouncing ideas off each other, offering solutions to problems, like just communicating. Like, and then even from like the camera aspect, like framing and different camera movements, because like, you know, handheld is different from a static shot, like, and that's different from like a smooth gimbal shot. Like point of view, like, you know what I mean? Like for example, like if somebody is leaving a building, right, it's gonna be different meanings and different emotions if you film it a certain way. So like if the camera is set outside and we shoot them leaving the building, coming outside from the outside, that's gonna be different than if we set up the camera inside and we see them leaving the building to go outside from inside the building. And it's also a different a different feeling and meaning if if we were in front of the person leaving the building. So like what I mean by that is like, by that is like the camera is in front of them, and then while they move forward, the camera moves backwards. You know what I mean? That gives off a different meaning, and that's a different meaning and feeling than like being behind, like being the camera being behind the person and then following them leaving the building. You know what I mean? That's just like one example. Like that's just choosing how to shoot something, the meaning and feeling that's going to convey. The director making all of these decisions to piece all of this together, man. There are plenty of examples where I can show people like the same scene, but it's filmed in a different way. So like it would be the same scene, but the lighting is different. The same scene, but stuff is a different color. The same scene, but like, you know, this is different. It's like a different emotion and feeling for like each one, and you got to consider that when you're planning and filming all of this stuff, man. And like I'm gonna move on from this question because I feel like I'm just ranting, but like those answers are just the tip of the iceberg. You know what I mean? And man, like what else? Like, and the film industry like does a great job of like showing people. Because, like, it's one thing to hear about something, but it's another thing to actually see it. Another reason to respect the film industry, man. Like, we document history, whether that's in an actual documentary or we make a film set in a certain time period. We're showing you that time period. And if it's a documentary, we're literally documenting real life for the archive. You know what I mean? Then even outside of that, business folks, business folks, like the film industry solves your problems both financially and non-financially. Like we bring your visions to life, like your marketing campaigns. Like who are you calling for commercials or for your product, photography, billboards, like etc. Like we engage people with content. Like music industry, like from Nielsen, the company Nielsen. So Nielsen, they track the sales numbers and analytics for the music industry. And like they said like a music video boosts the sales of music with them. So like they said, like the top 10 songs on the sales chart have a music video alongside with them. And then like on the lower end of the statistics, like music videos boost sales by 8%. Product placement in music videos on the lower end, that's like a 35% boost in brand sales. And like it's just an opportunity. Like the video could go viral, the video can go on TV. And a big thing for the film industry is like with music videos, like you create an experience that goes along with the song. So when you listen to the song, you're most likely going to remember the music video. You know what I mean? Film industry people, don't let people downplay the music video thing, talking about like they don't work. It's like they don't know how to leverage the music video. You know what I mean? You gave them the tools and they failed to execute properly. You led the horse to water. They just don't know how to drink. You know what I mean? Like I can make a whole episode on ROI of like music videos and stuff like that. But I'm gonna move on. Okay, like sports. So like sports, like how are you going to watch your favorite football team, basketball team, hockey, soccer, like etc. like play? Like, you know what I mean? Like y'all so focused on like your favorite athlete, like you don't think who is the person setting up and operating this camera so I can watch the Chiefs play, so I can watch LeBron play. You know what I mean? Like the media had to quarantine inside the NBA bubble too. Like 6,500 people had to quarantine in the bubble away from their families along with the athletes, so you can watch the NBA on TV. You know what I mean? And then like this is just like a bonus on why you should respect the film industry, bro. Like before, like just the final thing, and I'm moving on from this question. Like I'm willing to bet majority of people in the film industry, like they're living out what they really want to do. Like they're doing what they love. They're doing what they want to do. Like so far on every film set I've been on, bro, like we've just like taken a moment to just like stop and like appreciate the fact like, yo, like we really get to do this for a living, or like we really get to like do this. Like everybody from like the people behind the scenes to the actors to the stunt people, like everybody on set is like, yo, like we take a moment to like appreciate that like we actually get to do what we like and love. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna move on from this question. Oh man, because I just went on a long rant, bro. So next question, also from Jacob. Man, what makes an image great? So for me, compositions and perspective. I'm pretty sure I see them as the same thing, but the biggest thing is perspective. So seeing things in a way that like you haven't or wouldn't normally see things. 3 people that I really got this from are 2 photographers, Pete Souza and Jared Poland, and a former director of photography, Ryan Booth. Shout out to Ryan Booth, man. He drops a lot of knowledge, a lot of gems. But Pete Souza, he was the chief photographer of the White House under the Obama administration and the Obama administration and the Ronald Reagan administration. So he emphasized that like every job he has, the non-negotiable thing was to get unrestricted access to the president, and if they didn't give that to him, he would turn it down, because like get to see and document them in a different light from like the public. And then Jared Poland, whether it was like a concert or being on the campaign trail for a member of government, he would always try to get places and perspectives that other people can't get and other photographers can't get. And to really drive it all home, Ryan Booth, man, he broke down like why this perspective thing is so important. But before I use the example he gave, I'm gonna try to sum it up real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna try to sum it up real quick. So perspective, like, it makes you stand out. Like, if you don't, you're gonna end up with the same pictures like as everybody else. So this is not the example, but my simplified example. You're at a concert, right? Everybody there is recording or taking pictures on their phone. So if you take pictures from the audience's point of view, it's just another picture, because there's hundreds and thousands of pictures with that same like perspective already, like, out there on their social medias, all that. Now, Ryan Booth's example, it was the Toronto Raptors versus the 76ers, Game 7 of the 2019 playoffs, the infamous Kawhi Leonard shot. So, the game is tied, clock is running down. Right before time expires, Kawhi Leonard throws up a shot. Now, everybody, when I say everybody, I mean everybody, attention is on the basketball and on the hoop, because they want to know, is this ball going to go in? Is this going to overtime, or is the Raptors winning this game? Everybody's attention is on the hoop and the basketball. Everybody, from the players to the people in the stands to everybody watching at home. But the photographer's perspective was, I'm going to shoot Kawhi, because everybody is going to miss it, because they're focused on the ball and the hoop. And those pictures stood out because, like those pictures stood out, and those pictures, they became the cover of every Toronto magazine and every Toronto newspaper and every Toronto article about that game, because he got a different perspective of the situation. He got the perspective of Kawhi's reaction and like the players' reactions, you know what I mean? So it was like that perspective of like, I'm not gonna focus on the basketball and if the basketball is gonna go into the hoop or not, if he's gonna make the shot. My perspective is the reactions, because everybody was so focused on the basket that they missed Kawhi's reaction. You know what I mean? So, all right. Whew. Okay, man. Jacob came through with the questions. I think this is the last question from Jacob. So let me take another sip real quick. Okay. All right. What photo has impacted you the most and why? Okay. I'm going to give you an answer that is outside of personal photos of family and friends. And I'm also going to give you an answer outside of Creative Ryan, because even though he does have some dope photos, I can't name one Creative Ryan picture because I really like his overall style. Off the top of my head, I'm gonna have to say the photo of Barack Obama leaving the White House for the final time. Not the one where he's walking out the door. Excuse me. Not the one where like he's outside of the White House waving, and not the one where he's like in the helicopter flying over for the final time. I'm talking about the one where he's walking out the door. If you're watching the YouTube version at youtube.com/DYLANJR98. If you're watching the video version, I'll pop the pictures. I'll pop the picture I'm talking about, like I guess like right here. I'll leave the link to the picture in the show notes and the description. I'm gonna describe it to the best of my ability. It's It's dark. Barack Obama is walking through the door. His back is to the camera, and there's members of government like standing on like the left and the right, cause kind of like when you're like when you're walking through like a military line type thing. And you know the inside is really dark, and there's a light shining through the door on Barack Obama as he's like walking through the door. And the reason why it has impacted me so much is that off the top of my head, like this is the first time, like that was the first time like I thought to myself, like, yo, like this is not a picture, this is not an image, like this is a photograph, you know what I mean? And I think Pete Souza took that picture because he was chief White House photographer, and I believe he took the one in the airplane, in the helicopter too. I believe Pete Souza took that picture. I reached out to him and asked him a while ago. I reached out and asked him, like, well, did you take this picture? He hasn't replied yet. I don't think he will, but that's besides the point. But I think Pete Souza took the picture. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, no, like that picture, like it also made me think, like, yo, like what is the meaning of this picture? Because like when the picture came out, we all know what's the story behind the picture. Like when it came out, it came out a couple of hours. It came out on an inauguration day, a couple of hours after Obama left the White House to go to the inauguration. So when it came out, we know the story is, oh, this is the picture of Barack Obama leaving the White House for the last time. So like, I don't know. I perceive the meaning of that picture like he's leaving behind the dark world and the stresses of politics behind him, and he's going into like a stress-free life or a new life outside of politics. You know what I mean? That's like one of the pictures where I was like, yo, this is a dope photograph, and like me trying to figure out what's the meaning behind this picture. You know what I mean? So yeah. What's going on? For the people watching the video version, I'm sorry if I'm not looking directly into the camera, because I'm like looking. If I look off to the side, that's because the flip out screen is right there, and I'm making sure like I'm still in focus. So if I'm not looking directly into the camera, I'm sorry. That is why. Okay. All right. Next question comes from Mason, and he wants to know, what's the most rookie mistake young filmmakers make and how to avoid them. Okay, let me take a sip. Okay. All right. There are many answers to this question, Mason. Cliches, ignoring sound, fixing it in post, cool Trinity transition, focusing on gear. But my answer is, when you're making your film or project, to have a plan. And I'm going to go more in depth on what I believe is a two-part answer. You know, I'm going to answer this in two parts. The first part is to plan out. So when you're first starting out, you know, you get excited and you go out and you shoot, which is fine. But then at the same time, you're kind of shooting just to shoot, and then in the editing room, you're kind of like just putting together your video. You're not really putting together like a story or a film. You know what I mean? It's more than showing up, filming some stuff, and go home and putting it together. If you're like, you know, especially if you're working on a set or you're working with equipment. So for example, I'll use me as an example. I'm really big on examples and scenarios because I feel like that gets the point across best, because I am a visual and hands-on learner. So when I can't show you or have you do it, a scenario is the closest thing I can get to that. So for me, for example, there's a passion project that I really want to do. It's a music video for this song called Salsa. In my head, my plan is, okay, the song is referencing the salsa dance, which is, you know, referring to or paying homage to the Latin culture. So my plan would be, okay, we're gonna film in the Guadalupe Center. We're gonna have extras doing the salsa. We're gonna have the artist singing, and then we're gonna get some B-roll shots. I'm like, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a plan, but it's not a good plan. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a generic plan. It's not a good plan. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the problem with that plan would be, okay, what's the story, like what's the story gonna be? It's a music video, so the story doesn't have to be like, you know, anything like too special, but it's like, what's the story gonna be about? Like, what's the story gonna be about? Okay, the Guadalupe Center, let me go and scout the location. Okay, like let me what's called let me go what's called like, you know, like on how to like give you more information on like how to do the how. So like outside of like that basic plan to make the plan better, you know, like I would go to the Guadalupe Center and scout out the Guadalupe Center, you know, and go during the, like if we're planning on shooting at night, like don't go in the daytime and then be like, okay, like go there at the time of day you're gonna be shooting. Look for outlets for the lights and any machines and stuff you want to plug in. Where's everybody gonna park? The catering station, you know what I mean? Like the shot list, you know, just try to get as detailed as possible. Now, the second part of that plan is to plan for stuff to go wrong, bro. Trust me, something will 100% go wrong. Like, for example, like okay, like the biggest thing to plan for, like the biggest thing to plan for to go wrong is running out of time. So it's like, if we're running out of time or time runs out, what shots or scenes can we go without? Like what can we live without, you know what I mean? And then just like other stuff, like what if the actors, like what if the actors are running late, or what if somebody gets lost? What if they show up in a different outfit or color, like a different color or a different outfit that we discussed and planned? Like, you know what I mean? What if, like, what happens if, you know, this SD card fails, or what happens if, you know, this equipment doesn't work? You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. But also, don't over plan, because there is such a thing, like, where it's like this, like one of the problems I came across is like with this is like I was planning so much that I never got around to actually doing it because I was so busy researching and planning. So there's a point where you have to cut yourself off and be like, okay, I've done enough research, let's just do it. There's a quote that I like to go by. It's like it's, you're never ready, you're only ready enough. And I can break that down later on, what I think the quote means. But, you know, just at some point you're gonna just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Even if it's bad, you'll be able to look back and see the growth that you had from there, man. So just do it. I kind of went all over the place, but hopefully that answers your question. Have a plan well, and plan for stuff to go wrong. So, you know, when stuff happens on set, you don't panic. So yeah, hopefully that answers your questions. Hopefully that answered your question, Mason. If not, just reach out to me again, and then I can maybe you can carry on this conversation in the DMs or something. All right, man. I'm about to take another sip, man. Okay, now I'm about to start getting to the questions from the people that submitted them anonymously. So, and you know, and these are more lighthearted, less serious questions, man. Man, I've been dropping gems so far, man. Hey, make sure y'all picking them up, man. I'm dropping a lot of knowledge, man, because, you know, the game is to be sold, not told. And I'm telling y'all, I'm dropping a lot of free gems, man. Make sure y'all picking them up. You know what I mean? So yeah. So if a book has been made into a movie, which do you prefer to do first? See the movie or read the book, and why? Okay, me personally, I see the movie first, probably like 98% of the time. If I really enjoy the movie, or the lore, then I will go out and get the book and read it afterwards to get to fully immerse myself in there and see what they left out, other things. The times where I do read the book first is for like time. If I can't figure out like what the movie about or like what the story is. So like for example, Dune, what's called it Dune, that movie. I can't figure out what the hell that movie is about to save my life, bro. Like I don't know what the story is. So in that instance, I would go and read the book first so I can get a grasp of like what the story is about and stuff like that, man. But why do I watch the movie first? Okay, why do I watch the movie first? Well, one, watching the movie is, to me, watching the movie is more entertaining than reading the book. I'm just being 100% honest with you. Man. So yeah, that's 100% honest truth, man. It's more entertaining, and then it's more entertaining than reading the book, and then also, man, it's like it's shorter. It's shorter. You know what I mean? So like on the long end, like 2.5 hours versus the days to read the book. You know what I mean? And this is just a side note, bro. Trust me, adapting a novel into a movie is hard as fuck. Don't excuse my language, because y'all gotta understand how difficult that is, bro. And I am talking from both like experience and research, bro. And I can talk about that later too, but trust me. Okay. Next question. How do you choose which movies to watch? Is it by the genre, the director, the main star? Honestly, all of those. But for me, it only takes one box to get me interested. So I'm gonna add story in there too. So yeah, so like for example, like Seth Rogen and Asa Butterfield, like those are two examples of like some of my favorite actors. If they're in something, I'm watching it no matter what, bro. It could be Seth Rogen presents paint drying, I will watch it. You know what I mean? Directed by, I'm in there, you know what I mean? But if there's nothing, but if none of those boxes get filled, then I'm looking for a story. If it's a genre that I don't necessarily like, if I don't know or not familiar with the director, or I'm not familiar with who all is in the movie, then I'm looking for the story. Like, what is this about? What's the concept? What is it about? What's the story about? That's what I look for. Also, recommendations and word of mouth. Those are also another factor in choosing what I watch. So, yeah. Okay. Next question. Have you ever fallen asleep in the middle of a film, and why? Okay, yes. I have fallen asleep on 3 movies. I've fallen asleep on The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari 3 times. I've fell asleep on the Assassin's Creed movie, and I've fell asleep on the Justice League movie. Yeah, those are the 3 movies. Okay, I'm going to explain to y'all why in 1 second. Hold on. Okay. Let's start off with The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. First time we were watching it in my film theory class, and I was up the night before packing because that was my last class, because I was going to leave that class and then go home for Thanksgiving break. So I was up the night before just doing laundry and packing, and so I was tired. I was in class. He was showing the film. I'm going to keep it 100% real with you, bro. This is the truth. all I saw was Act 2 pop up on the screen. Then next thing you know, I just see Act 5. I'm dead ass serious, bro. Like, I was so tired, like, I just fell asleep, bro. Like, I was sitting in the chair, and then, like, my eyes just, like, got heavy, and I was doing those long blinks, bro. Like, my head tilted back, and then next thing you know, I just see Act 5 on the screen, bro. Like, that's the honest truth. The second time was in my German film class, and that class was taught by the same professor that taught the film studies class. And the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, that is a German film, so we're watching it in German film class. And I tried to watch it that time, bro. I was just so bored that I fell asleep. Like, I tried to watch it, I was just bored. I fell asleep. And the third time, my nephew was watching it because he was doing research on cinema history and like what inspired like early monster movies and stuff like that. And I fell asleep again, bro. I was like watching it. I was like, yeah, this shit is so boring. I'm just gonna go to sleep. And then I fell asleep again. So those were the 3 times I fell asleep on the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. The Assassin's Creed movie, man. If you're a fan of the OG Assassin's Creed series games, bro, you'll understand why. I played 1 through 4. I played Assassin's Creed 1 through 4. So all of those games, man. Altair, Ezio's story, you know, all the way to 4. I stopped at the 4 because I was like, bro, I ain't messing with the pirate stuff. And then like all the other stuff. I'm gonna get back into it though. I'm gonna get Valhalla, but no, that's a different convo for a different day. But like with the movie, bro, like it was clear that they either didn't play the games or they just didn't care about the games. And I'm gonna go in depth like in a second. I'm gonna get another swig. I don't know. I said sip and then I switched to swig. I don't know, man. I'm taking another sip of this one. Okay. The emphasis on the story wasn't on the history it wasn't on the history aspect or the assassins, because like with the Assassin's Creed games, like you get to go back in time to a certain time period and learn the history and like the stuff that was going on, and like the assassins, like the history time period in the assassins was more of a subplot to the sci-fi and the technology, you know what I mean? Like they didn't care to explain the connection between like the modern day main character and his assassin heritage, because like in Assassin's Creed, the way that they get to access the assassin's memories is because like in Assassin's Creed, like the DNA, like they have like this technology to where it's like your DNA allows you to access memories from your ancestors and then lets you go in and relive them, which is actually a dope concept. It's just that the movie should be about the Assassin's Creed. you know what I mean? Like it should be about the Assassin's Creed. Like that's the name of the game. That's the name of the series, Assassin's Creed. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? Also the movie was too long, bro. Like it's like 2.5 hours, and it's not very well made. You know, this kind of seemed more like a cash grab. Like they're banking on the Assassin's Creed name. So that's why I fell asleep on that, because I was like, yo, like they're not taking this shit seriously, and the movie wasn't that good. So I was like, bro, I tried to watch, but I fell asleep. But and the third movie, Justice League. So the main reason why I fell asleep on that was because like it was the midnight premiere. So we all know how long that damn movie is, right? And I fell asleep around the point, like it was about 1:30 ish to 1:45 ish in the morning. It was the midnight premiere, man. I dozed off. It was for only like about 5 minutes, though. I'm gonna still count that as falling asleep, though, because like when it was Cyborg trying to do something with the cube, and then all of a sudden I just remember like Superman was there, and then when I woke up was because and then I asked my family, I was like, yo, I'm like, how long was I asleep? And then because they was watching the movie, they didn't even know. It was like what's the last thing you remember? I was like, yo, Cyborg was trying to do this. They was like, oh, okay, you only been asleep for like 5 minutes. But all right, next. How many questions we got? We got 3 more questions. Okay. Would you rather be in a movie or be given 500,000? Okay. If I'm the main character, or if I'm the main character, the supporting character, or I have like a significant role, you know what I mean? Like, like those characters that's not the main character or a side character, but they still play like a significant role in the movie and the story. If that was the case, I will take being in the movie, because my original dream was to be an actor, you know what I mean? So I would take that as betting on myself to do a good enough job to, land other acting jobs. But if I'm just like an extra, or like if I'm just like an extra, or I just get 3 minutes of screen time, or like I just get like a one-liner, like I'm the restaurant server, and I say like have a nice meal, so I'm like, nah, bro, like, nah, just give me the 500,000. You know what I mean? I'll save half and then use the other half to either develop a low budget feature or a short film. You know what I mean? So yeah, right. And then the last film related question, and then the last question is gonna come from Adam. It's not a film or photography related question, but I'll answer it. Why not? Bonus question. What kind of movie would you like to star in, and why? Okay. I would say drama right now, because I feel like I have stories that need to be told, and the drama genre is where it's best fit. Like, that's the best way to tell the stories that I want to tell, and I think that I should tell. So I'm down to make anything, but drama is like where the stories I have in mind right now, I feel like it will thrive there. As far as star in, I'm down to star in any type of movie, bro. Probably not horror though, because because I'm like that person that laughs during horror movies, man. I'll just be laughing at everything, man. But if they do catch me off guard, you know what I mean? Like they'll have some gold, bro. Like I'll fuck around and win an Oscar, you know what I mean? Like if there's like a jump scare they don't tell me about and they actually get me, bro, like bro, it's over, bro. It's over. They gonna have some gold, but I'll be the next me, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I done chugged down that Arizona, man. Like, gotta bust open the water real quick on this last question, man, and then we out. I don't even know how long this episode is, bro. This is gonna be the longest episode to date. But I'm dropping a lot of gems, man. It's worth it. It's worth it. You know what I mean? So, last question comes from Adam, and this is a music-related question, man. I'll go ahead and say this is the bonus question for today, and then we gonna hop up on out of here, man. Hold on. What matters most in rap songs for you? The beat, lyrics, message, flow, or other? What matters the most to me? Damn. Right now I'm gonna have to say flow. Because you could be rapping about BS, but if you got the energy, you got the confidence, and it sounds good, you can low-key get away with it. Like, there's this song, the lyrics are remixing the Willy Wonka the Willy Wonka Oompa Loompa song, bro. Like, it's dumb, but the way he flows on it, and he just has the confidence and stuff. Like, yo, like it's fire. It doesn't sound half bad. So yeah, get away with it. So yeah, flow at the moment. But outside of that, bro, like, I'm going to say beats, because I've seen Nick. It's because y'all know who I'm talking about. Producer tag is the laugh.
Nick, you're stupid.
I've seen him take acapellas from a song that aren't as good and just make a beat from scratch to that acapella and then turn the song into a hit. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So that is that, man. So that was the last question, man. Thank you for making it to the end, listening to the Reel Dyl podcast. Thank you for submitting questions. Thank you for listening. The podcast is now available on Stitcher. So if you prefer Stitcher, it is Stitcher Radio, the Stitcher app. It is on there. So yeah, man. Thank you all for submitting questions. Like, I truly do appreciate it. Like, it humbles me down. Like, thank you all for your support. Rate this podcast 5 stars on the apps that allow you to leave reviews and ratings. Hit the subscribe button or the follow button or whatever that button is on whatever podcasting platform you listen to this on. And yeah, man, that is it, man. Website DylanDilworth.com, Dylan DYLAN, then Dilworth with 1 L. DylanDilworth.com/media. That'll take you to the podcast page on my website, and Instagram, Twitter, at Dylan_CBE, DYLAN_CBE. And anything else, YouTube is Dylan Dyl, or DYLANDILWORTH. And yeah, man, hope y'all are having a good day. I don't know, you can probably see it. If the video version, you can probably see it, and you can probably hear it in my voice by now. I am tired. The lack of sleep is catching up to me. So thank you all again. I will catch y'all later, man. Peace. Queen's Gambit review coming next week. Peace.